The smoke was still rising when I realized it wasn't an accident. My garage, my workshop, my sanctuary, the place where I kept memories of my late father, was gone in a roaring, crackling blaze. And standing across the street with her arms folded, lips tight, eyes cold, was Karen, our HOA president. She didn't even bother to hide the smirk. She thought she'd won. She thought burning down my garage would break me. She didn't know the courtroom she'd soon step into would be mine. It all started 3 months earlier, when I moved back to my childhood home after my father passed. The HOA had changed a lot, mostly because of one person, Karen Dalemont. A self-appointed queen, ruling the neighborhood with fines, threats, and an inflated sense of importance. The day she first approached me, I was repainting the garage door my father built when I was 16. She walked right onto my property, clipboard in hand. "You can't paint that color," she snapped. "It's the same color it has always been," I replied calmly. "Well, under my HOA, it's not allowed. Fix it by Friday or face a violation." Her tone wasn't neighborly. It was personal. I ignored her. And that was her first strike against me. Then came the petty fines. Trash bins, slightly visible, grass, half an inch too long, and my personal favorite, garage door reflects too much sunlight, whatever that meant. I refused to bend. I appealed every fine. And I won every single one. That was my second strike. But the third strike, the one that pushed Karen into madness, came when she discovered who I truly was. One morning, after another baseless notice taped to my door, I said, "Karen, maybe you should calm down. I know the HOA bylaws better than you think." "Oh really?" She laughed. "And why is that?" "Because I've been a federal attorney for 12 years. And now, a judge." Her smile cracked for the first time. I thought that would make her back off. Instead, it made her dangerous. The night my garage burned, I was inside sorting old documents. I stepped out for just 5 minutes to take a phone call, walking to the end of the driveway for privacy. When I turned back, flames were licking the roof, exploding through the wooden beams like a monster unleashed. Neighbors screamed. Sirens wailed. And Karen stood watching with an expression that wasn't shock. It was satisfaction. She didn't expect the security cameras I'd installed along the side yard. The fire investigators found clear signs of arson, accelerant poured along the back wall. And the footage. It showed her sneaking around the corner with a gas can. When officers brought her in, she still believed she'd talk her way out of it. After all, she charmed half the neighborhood into doing her bidding. But charm doesn't mean much against evidence. Weeks passed. And finally, her court date arrived. She strutted into the courtroom in her usual pastel blazer, chin lifted, trying to convince herself she still had power. She didn't recognize the courtroom. She didn't recognize the bailiff. She didn't recognize the prosecuting attorney. But when I stepped through the judge's entrance and sat at the bench, she recognized me. Her face drained so white I thought she might collapse. "Good morning," I said, voice calm, professional, cold. "Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge David T. Monroe presiding." "Why you?" she stuttered. "This has to be a joke." "No, Ms. Dalemont. This is very real." Panic rippled through her like electricity. She sank into her chair, clutching the table. "You can't do this," she whispered. "This isn't fair." "What wasn't fair," I replied, "was burning down the garage that belonged to my late father. What wasn't fair was harassing half this neighborhood. What wasn't fair was thinking you were above the law." Her attorney pleaded for recusal, but the law was on my side. I wasn't overseeing her sentencing, only her arraignment, a process that simply required formal reading of charges, not judgment. And so, with the gravity she deserved, I read. 1 count of arson. 1 count of destruction of property. 1 count of reckless endangerment. 1 count of attempted insurance fraud. Every word hit her like a hammer. She tried to speak, but her voice broke. "I didn't mean for it to spread. I just wanted, he needed to learn." "You wanted control," I said sharply. "And you lost it." Her trial was moved to another judge, but the damage was done. The evidence was overwhelming. She cried when the sentence was handed down, 5 years. Maybe more with restitution. When the officers cuffed her and walked her past me, she didn't lift her head. But I leaned in and whispered one final truth. "You should never have mistaken silence for weakness." The neighborhood changed after that. The HOA appointed a new board. People came together, offering help to rebuild my garage, neighbors I'd barely known. As for me, I rebuilt not just the structure, but the memories inside it. Karen thought she destroyed the last piece of my father. Instead, she brought the whole community back to life.